you need to mix things up. I love my job. I've been coaching for 4 years now. I've been a teacher for 6, and never would have thought this back when I started, but working with kids is one of the most gratifying things I've ever had the opportunity to do. But it doesn't mean I don't get sick of it sometimes. And so I have to find other ways to spend my time. From a working perspective, I'm not just talking about like hobbies. Those are important too, but that's a discussion for another time. You need to find other things that fulfill you, because at the end of the day, I think work is probably one of the most gratifying things you can spend time investing in, aside from family, of course, and friends. I would say those are higher tier, but you can't just have those. You need to have all three, in my opinion. So my way of tackling this issue is I'm going back to something that I know I really enjoy, and that's doing film and TV, acting, all those sorts of things. And the interesting part, what led me to go down that path, was actually looking at what I was doing in my current job. So I coach, right? I coach esports, but I also run the media department at the respective schools that I work at. And so I made an observation after several months of doing each of those things. Obviously, working in media is much different from coaching, but when you spend time in the same facility doing each of those things, you really start to narrow down where your interest lies. And I found that I was spending more time going into the casting room, the media booth, so to speak, to work on projects in there. Get YouTube content going for the program, do podcasting stuff, work on those types of things. And that is really valuable and informative. What I want you to take away from this conversation this evening is that trying to sit in a vacuum and make decisions about what you're truly passionate about is a hell of a difficult thing to do. And some people might have an easier time of it than others, but I know I fall under the camp of I really don't know what I want to do sometimes, because you might find passion in a lot of different things. But you'll know the best way to find out is to just go and try all of them. And if you find over a reasonable amount of time that you don't particularly like something, or you find that you naturally gravitate towards another, then that's an indicator. I think that is your psyche trying to direct you in the path that you really want to go down. Even if you don't understand that yet consciously, your mind and body do. So listen to those things. We also refer to that as our gut instincts, I guess. Listen to those things. And obviously, I haven't addressed the probably biggest obstacle in the room is how do you allocate time to those different things, especially if we're talking about work and jobs and things like that. And the trick I want to give you is depending on your work schedule. Some of you may be working full-time, which if that's the case, man, that's awesome. A lot of people who wish they could work full-time right now and get that cheese. But if you're not, and you have a few extra hours allocated to spend on your own, right? Then start doing that other task for fun. Okay, so in my example, I'm coaching as a part of my work, but if I think I might be more interested in the media, filmmaking stuff, then start doing little projects on your own. They don't have to be good. Just make something for YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, I don't know, whatever, and see how that goes. I don't even mean like see how well they do online, just see if you're able to follow through on them. Are you proud of the work that you've done? And you may find, this happened in my case, that the thing you switch to get a break from your other tasks gets kind of boring as well. So you go back to the first thing, and you now have a renewed perspective on each one because you allowed yourself the space and room to, reclaim that bandwidth, as it were, in your head and sort of grow from that. So obviously this situation is going to be specific to every individual, but if you can make it work, find another outlet that might be a hobby, but hopefully is something productive, and use that as a way to give yourself a little bit of a rest from the stuff that you already focus on. I know the inclination to just sit down and relax or play video games or whatever you do in your free time is a strong one. And hey, if you need the rest, go for it. Do those things. No shame or judgment in that. In fact, I'm a huge advocate of the idea that we need to schedule more relaxation time for ourselves in general so that we can go back and do better work. But should you have the slot available, spend that time doing something that you could potentially see as a potential career interest. And you never know, that may lead you down a path that you enjoy. And the best part is you can always go back to the last thing. Yeah. I hope you have a good night, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Take care.